Шановні колеги, ми продовжуємо робочий день. До слова запрошується речник Служби безпеки України.
Colleagues, we continue our working day, and I invite to the microphone spokesperson of the Security Service of Ukraine, Colonel Olena Hitlyanska. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today I would like to inform you about the latest developments and achievements in the security service of Ukraine during the last week. I would like to start from the statement that we continue to discover and reveal the conversion centers existing for financial transactions. As of today, I would like to describe how security service had discovered such a conversion center in the ATO area. The offenders provided fraud transactions using cryptocurrencies and electronic money, while the physical opportunity to withdraw money existed in Kiev and Zhytomyr Oblast. They managed to transfer 150 million hryvnia, which caused losses for the state, caused damage to the state because the revenues from the tax revenues from that money did not go to the state budget. In Kiev, one of the offenders was arrested who had a lot of cards, banking cards, computers, office equipment, etc. We will continue to inform you about similar operations. Currently, we continue investigation and carry out searches in different oblasts in Ukraine. In particular, we have found that private entrepreneurs who in the past had relation to the enterprises dealing with supplies of industrial timber, they concluded agreements with mines located in the temporary occupied areas and transported wood, transported timber from Kiev, Zhytomyr, Kharkiv, Oblast, etc. That timber was exported also abroad via shadow schemes. Actually, it was smuggling. In Kiev, in course of searches, we found 2,150,000 euros, $500,000, 7 kilos of gold in bank pieces, and 1.5 million hryvnia. All those treasures were a result of the criminal activity. First of all, of course, we try to reveal all those criminal money, which quite often are directed to the terrorists, to financing of terrorism. Also, we continue to put an end to the corrupt schemes in all the oblasts of Ukraine. Thus, in Kiev, yesterday, the security service had caught the municipal state administration officials who attempted to receive money from the entrepreneurs working in petrol and gas stations around Kiev, and thus 120,000 hryvnia were received by those offenders during the last 2 months. Currently, the security service of Ukraine is working, and we continue to reveal other cases when the bribes were requested by government officials. Security service also had detained head of one of sectoral trade unions who requested for money or position to stop the protests near one of the state agencies, and unfortunately this shows that some people are ready to abuse powers, abuse position, and this shows how the leader of one of trade unions stirred up people, brought them to the state agency to organize a rally and protest in action, and then blackmailed the state agency and requested money. For example, this protest near the state service of geodesy and cartography and maps, and then requested for money from the director of the state agency. Also, we continue our work aimed at international anti-terrorism. We had detained the Al-Qaeda terrorist in Kiev. We have arrested the terrorist who participated in the Al-Qaeda operations. He comes from one of the Asian countries. He came to Ukraine, have got the false Ukrainian passport and tried to get foreign passport as allegedly Ukrainian citizen, and when doing this he was revealed, and the security service had got confirmation from Interpol that he used to be the Al-Qaeda terrorist. One more information about Kharkiv. Yesterday, Verkhovna Rada made decision about renaming of several cities, towns. Not all people are happy about this, and one of Kharkiv residents, a lady who is 62 years old, informed police that all metro stations in Kharkiv were mined because would be destroyed, simply undermined because of the change in the names. The security service had found this woman because 9,000 people were evacuated. That woman appeared to be the very pro-communist by her ideas, and now she is arrested, and she will after decision of the court, she may spend up to 2 years in jail. I would like to warn those jokers who like to make jokes and to inform the enforcement agencies about allegedly mined metro stations. The sources of such information are usually discovered 100%, and you will be severely punished in line with with legislation. Also, about the detention of about the investigation of those terrorists who should be responsible for the explosion on April 14th in Novoalexeyevsk and Genichinsk district. We found out that this was organized by Ukrainian citizen who was engaged by the Russian special services. Several times he traveled to the Russian Federation, where he met with his curators. During that terrorist act, one person was killed and many people were wounded. And now we have the photo of this offender and subversive agent. Actually, he's a terrorist. That's why, please, if you see him anywhere, please inform us. We will do our best to catch this person. We have full materials at our disposal in result of the investigation. We know what were the plans, who were guilty, and we know that they planned a series of adversary and terrorist attacks to destabilize situation in Kherson Oblast. Also, the counterintelligence service of the security service has liquidated the Russian spies network in Luhansk Oblast. They had one of the members of it was the leader of the state emergency situation service in this oblast. Also, one of the former communist leaders in this district was involved due to this activity. Now the then government official is arrested. They reported to the enemies about deployment of Ukrainian services, collected information about the work of checkpoints, etc. Currently, we collect materials for filing criminal case in line with Article 111 of the Criminal Code, and we have a video fragment. In March 2015, I was engaged by the employees of the officers of Russian Federation. I had to collect information about the government administration of the district, officers of enforcement agencies, etc. My fellow co-villagers and me, we tried to make a map of the deployment of Ukrainian forces and to supply the enemies with this map. You can more materials you can find on the website on security service. Stanislav Feshchenko, 1+1 TV channel. The question about Al-Qaeda terrorists. To which country do you plan to extradite him? Whether he is blamed in bloody terrorist acts, and how he will be punished. You know, this is a classified information. As far as I remember, he arrived from Turkey. He did not plan to do anything in Ukraine. This was just a place. He wished to change citizenship, and now Interpol will take care about him. Christina Spor. In the ATO area, that corrupt action for 150 million hryvnia, how that money was laundered, and about the Kiev state administration employees, what do you plan to do with them? As to your first question, we have mobile groups comprising the security service officers, military officers, police officers. We try to cross all the channels of smuggling, and at the very beginning there were a lot of reports how many people were detained for illegal smuggling and trafficking. So this proves that those combined teams are working rather efficiently. As for today's information, we discovered the illegal financial scheme which acted in Kiev and Donetsk. So-called entrepreneurs in the occupied territories received cash via international monetary system. It's not just financing of terrorism, it's only one of the components. As for the municipal state administration, the investigation continues. And based on the results of this investigation and based on Ukrainian legislation, we will apply to court, and then the court will make its decision. Would you please describe the stage about investigation of Shokin's deeds, whether you have handled somebody the statement about suspicion, and what about those political prisoners who stay in Russia, and now about Korsunsky, whom volunteers detained? What is the situation with his case? As for the first question about attempt to kill Shokin, this is investigated by the military prosecutor's office, and they can comment on it. We have no right to do this. About your second question, under umbrella of our agency, we have the Center for Liberation of our hostages, and it works permanently, irrespectively whether we get special assignment of the president or not. We work and try to liberate all our people. We are ready to change all to all, but including servicemen and civil people. But sometimes much depends on the position of the opponents, and we are ready to work for them. As for the Korsunsky case, as far as I know, the case is now in court, and it will proceed as in line with the proper procedure. Yes, the case is in court now. Thank you. And any further questions? Yemets Maria, UCMC, about suspects in the Genitsch's terrorist acts. Whether you know just one person or you have other persons of the participants of the group, of the terrorist group. Yes, we revealed all the participants of this group and we showed their photos. We have detained 2 of them while we announced the search for one of them. This is a standard practice. In order to speed up the investigation, we try not to mention the names of arrested or detained people. We had identified the members of the group. One of them comes from Odessa Oblast, the second comes from Kherson Oblast. Now they are detained and make their confessions and explain how what terrorist deeds they planned. This allowed us to identify the 3rd participant of this criminal group and announce the search for him. And the final question for today. I've read in the social networks that Shevtsov, who was detained and trafficked to Russian Federation. The information is that the case is closed against him. Could you please comment on this? And you invited people to inform you about suspects. Could you comment how efficient usually are these actions when you invite people to inform you? How many people do call? As for Shevtsov, the investigation lasted for 2 months. There were more than 70 interrogations. The forensic expertise was carried out. Those people who in social networks pointed out to him as a criminal, they were interrogated. As far as I know, today in Vinnytsia Oblast, the prosecutor's office in Vinnytsia will hold a briefing where they will explain why they closed the case in line with Article 111 of the Criminal Code. But as to security service, when we receive any information, even from mass media, that a person could be involved in separatism or international terrorism, we always check, double check this possibility, even when we do not inform public about this. Please understand that quite often informing the public violates the necessity to keep in secrecy the important measures taken by investigators. Quite often, citizens inform us. They call to our hotline numbers, they write letters, they send emails. Quite often, the information provided by citizens is not true, and we are happy about this, but quite often they help us. Thank you.
Так, там можливо, там протягом часу